Not Jason Sancho, but Jadon Sancho, the guy that we actually recruited him for.
He's finished. He's finished, Mick. I think you're both right. The problem also with Sancho is he'll never have the trust. If I was in that dressing room, I would never trust him.
Kojo, since I haven't seen you for a long time, what about Jadon Sancho's situation? Is the gash rumors coming out? He's sitting there on 350 per K per week and playing PlayStation to 3 a.m. in the morning on Twitch.
I don't mind if you play PlayStation to 4 a.m. as long as you make it to work. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I don't know why that's news. I genuinely don't know why that's news. And if I'm being very honest, my whole outlook on this situation is this. I don't think this should have been made a much bigger deal than it should have been after what Ten Hag said. Ten Hag said he hadn't trained well. Fine. So be it. Sancho made his statement. People were not happy that Sancho did that. Some people were not happy that Ten Hag spoke out loud about it. Is what it is. But the thing that worried me about what both of them said is that they clearly have a very big difference on what is a good training level. So for Ten Hag, he needs to establish with Sancho that your level is not good enough. You need to improve it because obviously you're a talented footballer. Everyone can see it. But what Sancho needs, or apparently Sancho needs to do about the apology, if he's not going to do it, fine. Let him train with the young ones or train alone. And then when it comes to January, if he goes, he goes. This is as far as it goes for me. I don't care if he's playing PlayStation. I really don't care. A lot of footballers do a lot of things in their private lives. Who cares if he's playing PlayStation? If he wants to play PlayStation to 3 a.m., but somehow to make it to train for 9 a.m., do his thing and then go back home, so be it. I don't care. I didn't care when Pogba was dancing with his brothers in videos and he went on Instagram. Why? Because he's spending time with his family. Why is that my concern? I don't care. Even you go back in the days, obviously I was much younger then, so I didn't really register, but if the players won a game and they went for a pint, I don't care. That's their life. As long as they're not taking some sort of drugs that takes them away from playing football, because obviously you get a drugs ban and all that stuff. As long as they're not doing criminal behavior, as long as they're not slandering the name of the club and just engaging in, quite frankly, stupid activity, I do not care.
Yeah.
Now,
true.
I want Sancho to thrive. I have this issue now where I feel like a lot of footballers they have all the ability, but there's something that's just holding them back, whether that's themselves or people around them or the environment around them. Because I'll say this, even for Man United players that have been very well behaved and so on and so forth, I don't expect consistency from them because there's no such thing as consistency in Man United. The board isn't consistent with anything. We haven't had management that's been consistent for even 3 years plus, because we've had 8 managers, 2 of them being temporary, or actually 3, being temporary in the last 10 years. It's a joke. So I don't expect anything from them in general anyway. But if he's playing PlayStation, I don't know why that's anyone's concern. Hell,
yeah, you can play PlayStation to 3 a.m. in the morning, but as long as you rock up in time to work, right?
Do your thing. Look,
do your thing,
before I had my kid, and when I was coaching, I would have to attend schools and maybe some camps and so on and so forth, clubs around 8 a.m. You would catch me at 2 a.m. playing PlayStation. But I'll close my eyes, go to bed, wake up, do what I need to do, get to work, get it done. If I'm tired when I get home, I have a sleep. It's very simple. As long as you get your job done, I don't care what you do. And I don't know why Man United fans are so fixated on this PlayStation thing.
I don't know either. Like, what people do in the personal life is not our business. OPP. Are you down with OPP? Yeah, you know me. You know that song, right? Big up, Kev. Van Kev. Big up. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Long time no seen. Anyway, keep going.
Well said. What you guys were talking about was journalists and everything. See, this is where I criticize the fans because they buy into the BS.
Yeah.
United have lost, essentially. I have this theory that United have lost all their culture with Sykes Ferguson and David Gill. It was like those two went away, and suddenly everything that we knew about the club just went away with them. We've lost our class. The fans have lost their composure. We used to be a club that would give young players all the opportunity in the world and all the patience in the world to grow. And if they didn't make it at United, so be it.
Yeah.
Tactics Chong.
No, but I'm just going like, you know, in a normal work situation, if I refuse to come to work, if I refuse to listen to my boss, if I refuse to, you know, apologize. I mean, at the end of the day, it was also a report that he's no longer allowed to train with the academy or, you know, even keep contact, because a toxic person will create a toxic environment. And you all know that in a work situation, right? You have some like cohesion, you have a good culture, togetherness, and all of a sudden you have this bad apple that sits there and spoil everything. Like, you know, you're sitting having your coffee break, and there's always this bad apple that spoils the mood. And you know, I can understand that, right? You get paid $350 per week, and at the end of the day, the club always wins. You know, you cannot win, and you got to look yourself and who's advising you. Like, you know, your agent has to tell you better, to say, shape up, mate, apologize, train, work harder than the last time, prove that you can have a spot, or you know, we're going to have a difficulties in January, because there was Roma was saying they were interested in recruiting him, but who's going to pay those wages, $350 a week, and who's going to have this Romelu Lukaku type of mentality as well? Like, I'm bigger than everything else, right?
Well,
And that is the generational talent. Some people are, you know, professionals. Like Amrabat in that interview said, like, you know, describe your playing character. He said, I don't like to talk about myself. I like to show it on the pitch. So what do you do for leisure? Do you play PlayStation? He said, no, I don't have time. You know, I eat right, I can recover, I eat, I train, and that's all I can do. Like, you know, that's the football is the way of life, what he said. And Ten Hag taught me that. So it's down to you as an individual. Like, you know, are you a footballing player, or are you just there for, hey, I made it. You know what? Look at me, I'm getting paper, and that's it, right? So
I would argue though, sorry, I would argue not against that, but rather with that, there are some players that we've seen, some brilliant players that didn't live that lifestyle, but they still had brilliance. See, I think that's where United fans are a bit frustrated with Sancho, because I'm sure everyone's had or read many articles where people say Hazard is not the best trainer. When he goes home, he doesn't do the stuff that you speak about living football and, you know, eating right and everything. But when he went on the pitch, he just saw magic. And we're not seeing that with Sancho, so that adds to the frustration. So when I say I don't care about what he's doing, it's not to take away from what I hope he would do. We all want all these players to look after themselves and get on the pitch and give the best for the club, and even for themselves. At the end of the day, have some bit of pride about your career. But
yeah, true.
Man United fans are fixated on the wrong things. They're just fixated on the wrong things. That's my opinion. I think they're just talking about stuff that doesn't matter. Focus on what really matters. But
at the end of the day, you know, either you play for the team or you play for yourself, right? You play for your own brand. You know, there's some people that don't get it, right? They only care about their own brand, because at the end of the day, you get a lot of sponsorships, deals, that and that. So, you know, when he came out to defend himself, like 40 minutes after that interview, Ten Hag, it was just to protect himself and his brand, and to scapegoat everything else, to say, I've been a scapegoat. But one thing that doesn't work is that you go against the club that pays you the salary at the end of the day.
That's true.
Can we nip this in the bud and move on? Because I don't think he's going to play for United ever again, and unless he rocks up and apologizes to his teammates as well, and to the coach, and actually shows that he's not Jadon Sancho, but Jadon Sancho, the guy that we actually recruited him for.
He's finished. He's finished, Mick. I think you're both right. The problem also with Sancho is he'll never have the trust. If I was in that dressing room, I would never trust him. I would never be able to look at him and think, you know, if I'm going to go to war today, I've got somebody alongside me who's going to help me, who would dig the trench with me. You haven't got that with him. I also agree with you guys. Look, I don't give a damn who he's sleeping with. You know, if he's plays PlayStation, I don't care what he drives. I don't care any of that. If you can't get to work on time, or you haven't got the personality to want to get to work on time,
you get fired.
Yeah, right. That's it. And that's all.
So imagine you coming late to work every time. You're not completing your task. You're going to get a disciplinary, and they're going to put you on a 10 weeks trial period. You know, performance management. And if you can't complete that, you're out.
Yeah, and you're right about his brand as well, Mick. And his brand is taking out right hammering at the minute.
Big
time, you know, he's killing his brand. And so I'd be amazed to know who's advising him and why this is happening. But, you know, there's too many tales, isn't there? There's Ravel Morrison. There's too many tales. There's Dele Alli. There's too many tales of this type of Danny Cadamassery back in the day at Everton. Wonderful talents. So.
Madhouse is saying I want a 10 out of 10 player game per game, not a 7 because you get a little bit of sleep. True, 100%. Kojo, I just want to sort of move on as well because we are a little bit of concerned time. A VR room, big up to all of you. Please don't forget to smash the like. We will get to your comments as soon as we can.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.